There's an old riddle that goes something like this.
If a tree falls in a forest and no one is around to hear it, does it actually make a sound?
People have debated that for ages. Now, scientists will say,
yes, sound waves are physical vibrations and don't require an audience.
But philosophers would counter,
hold on a sec. If no one's there to hear it, how do we know it happened?
Well, I've always wondered if that same thing could be applied to a podcast. I mean, if the podcast is recorded and carefully edited to make it just right, and no one listens, did it actually happen? Or did all that audio just disappear into some vast unknown? It's hard to say. But even if it does just vanish, that's okay, because it's not about the numbers, it's about the craft. Week after week, the hope that someone, somewhere, listened to an episode and thought,
wow, that was weirdly informative and strangely entertaining.
And hopefully that will be your reaction too, assuming you're listening and assuming you're real. If so, blink twice. And while you're at it, if you could subscribe and maybe leave a 5-star review, that would be cool too. In the meantime, welcome to the podcast that answers some of the questions you've always wondered about.
It's the Always Wondered podcast.
Hi, I'm Rick Peterson. Thanks for joining us. Here at Always Wondered, we dive into life's most curious questions. And today, it's a subject that has haunted humanity for generations.
The meaning of life?
No, something far more pressing. Have you always wondered why socks disappear in the laundry? You put 2 socks in the washing machine, you get 1 back. It's a domestic whodunit that plays out every laundry day. Okay, you may just want to laugh it off, but there are people who have studied this phenomenon. A British research firm determined that the average person loses 1.3 socks per month. Now, I'm not sure what 0.3 of a sock looks like, but that works out to more than 15 socks a year. Now multiply that by millions of people, and the amount of socks that disappear is simply staggering.
Somewhere there's a Bermuda Triangle made entirely of argyle.
Now, the professionals in the laundry industry do have their own explanation. They claim that socks can sometimes get trapped between the inner and outer drum of your washing machine.
So they're saying, my washer has a built-in sock eating portal.
Yeah, basically yes. But maybe, just maybe, socks don't vanish. Maybe they escape. Think about it. We cram them into tight, smelly quarters, we spin them around at 1200 RPM, we scald them with hot water, and force them to cozy up next to gym shorts. At some point, they're gonna snap. And so, 1 sock in every pair becomes the Steve McQueen of the laundry room, tunneling through the dryer vent to freedom in their great escape. But if you want the most plausible explanation, here it is. Static cling. Socks get stuck inside fitted sheets or hide in the legs of pants like cotton ninjas. And let's be honest, if a sock does go missing, how much time do you actually spend looking for it? A minute? 2 minutes tops? So it stays lost. Experts say there are a few solutions. You can clip your socks together, but that seems like more trouble than it's worth. You can buy all the same color of socks, or you can simply embrace the chaos.
Mismatched socks? It's a fashion statement. I call it intentional asymmetry.
So the next time you're left holding a sock with no partner, know that you're not alone. Across the globe, there are millions of drawers filled with mismatched socks still in search of their significant other. So check your pillowcase. Chances are the sock is there. Or maybe it really is plotting its escape.
The Always Wondered podcast.
Sometime between getting your driver's license and having your student loans come due, suddenly your jaw says,
surprise! I brought friends, and they're staying forever. Or at least until you pay a couple of grand to have them yanked out by pliers.
Of course, we're talking about wisdom teeth. They show up uninvited to the party you didn't know that your face was throwing. So have you always wondered why we have wisdom teeth? For the answer, we need to go way back. Prehistoric humans were gnawing on raw, woolly mammoth steak and tree bark, using their face like a wood chipper. Jaws were wide and tougher, so evolution gave mankind backup molars. Because when your regular teeth are getting worn down by bone and gravel, it's nice to have a second string team just waiting to jump in from the gums. But then humans did what humans do. They got lazy and clever. With fire came cooking, and with cooking and tools came not needing jaws that could crack open a coconut. So over time, our jaws shrank. But plot twist, nobody told the wisdom teeth. And because there's no longer enough room, they emerge sideways, diagonally, or curled up in the fetal position just because. So you go to the dentist and they say,
Yup, those will have to come out.
no big deal for the dentist, but for you it's stitches, gauze, ice packs, and pain meds that make you forget your middle name. You spend 3 days drooling mashed potatoes and muttering,
Thanks a lot, evolution.
But the good news is 35% of people don't ever get their wisdom teeth, so humanity is slowly evolving out of them. So in the end, wisdom teeth, are they wise? No. Are they teeth? Debatable. So what's their purpose? Well, maybe they're just a little reminder from our ancient ancestors telling us,
We once had to eat tree bark, so stop complaining, cupcake.
It's the Always Wondered podcast.
We got a note from an old friend and hopefully new fan of the podcast, Charlie from Florida, who always wondered why we park on a driveway, but drive on a parkway. It's a baffling question that just shows how quirky our language can be. And that leads us to an even bigger question. Have you always wondered why the English language is just so weird? That driveway-parkway contradiction makes you wonder if English was developed as a prank, some kind of word-based escape room that we're all trapped in. For example, visible means you can be seen. Invisible means you can't. Flammable means something can catch fire. Inflammable means, something can still catch fire.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, tell me about it. Noses running, feet smelling?
Sounds like a design flaw.
And what about homonyms? Those are words that sound the same but mean completely different things. You can pare something down, you can eat a pear, you can buy a pair of shoes. All sound the same, all spelled differently. No wonder those spelling bee kids have trust issues.
Could you use that in a sentence, please?
Silent letters? Why is there a B in doubt? Who invited K to knife? A high rank in the military is colonel. It's spelled colonel. So why is it pronounced like a piece of Orville Redenbacher popcorn?
It's a bester. I'm not Orville Redenbacher.
And plurals? One goose, two geese. One moose, two moose, not meese. One tooth, two teeth. One booth, two booths. It's as if English teaches you logic, then immediately breaks it. Why is it like this? Well, I have a theory. Back in the 1800s, Merriam and Webster, the people behind the well-known dictionary, had a few too many mugs of ale one night and said,
Hey, I have an idea. Let's throw darts at letters. This will be fun.
Yep, and maybe that's how we wound up where we are. But in reality, English is a word stew of Latin, Greek, German, French, and Old Norse that either got left on the stove too long or not long enough. But in the end, it's a linguistic roller coaster, and that's probably why we love it. So if you don't mind, I'm going to live life a little dangerously and go park on a parkway. Wish me luck.
The Always Wondered podcast.
Well, that is good to put the wraps on another episode. Thanks much for hanging with us. Hope you learned a little something, had some fun along the way. And as always, we leave you with one to ponder. Have you always wondered why tennis balls are fuzzy? And don't even get me started on tennis scoring. We'll definitely tackle that one on a future episode. Until then, stay curious and keep wondering. I'm Rick Peterson. Thank you for listening.
The Always Wondered podcast. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, and a review. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you pod. Feel free to offer suggestions for future topics or simply reach out to alwayswonderedpodcast@gmail.com.